Forged by adversity, he stands alongside America's finest special operations forces to serve his country and the American people and to protect their way of life, honor, courage, commitment. The United States Navy SEALs are an elite force of men trained to fight in the most brutal of circumstances. They are taught to be unstoppable, to battle until death, and most importantly, never, ever leave a man behind. This kind of teamwork and commitment to country is what makes a SEAL who they are. On the moonless rainy night of June 27, 2005, Lieutenant Michael Patrick Murphy, Matthew Axelson, Danny Dietz, and Marcus Luttrell dropped from a helicopter into the Hindu-Kush mountains on the northeast border of Afghanistan. Armed with heavy artillery and extra magazines, the men set off into the darkness. Their mission, to kill or capture Ahmad Shah, a high-ranking Taliban leader with ties to Osama bin Laden. Operation Red Wing was underway. There was no predicting what would come in the next 5 days. The bloodshed and injury would be horrific. The heartbreaking loss, unimaginable. These 4 men endured the atrocities of war from the front line of battle. These men were Navy SEALs, and they knew there was nothing to do but to fight until the end. No matter the sacrifice, no matter the situation, they would fight. Marcus Luttrell survived as the lone survivor of Operation Red Wing, and is here today to share with you what happened. He tells his story for his brothers in arms that lost their lives. He tells his story so that their service will never be forgotten. Please welcome to the stage retired Navy SEAL and author of the New York Times #1 best-selling book, Lone Survivor, Marcus Luttrell.
I would say hometown folks, but I grew up a town over, or I live there now, so I'm more comfortable here than I am there. When I get to do things in Texas with our folks, it's wonderful. I haven't been on the road in a while, so this is kind of my first outing. Thank y'all for having me out. Appreciate that.
Marcus, let's start out with a few questions from the audience, and so the format we're going to go through today is we have some questions, and we'll start out. You grew up in East Texas. Tell us about it.
I was actually born in Houston, in downtown. Luckily enough, I have a son that was actually born in the same hospital. I think the same room. We haven't been able to prove that yet, but I think the way our luck is apparently that was the case. But in the beginning, we moved out. I grew up on a horse ranch on the other side of Dallas, in the 5 Point Sanger area. And there's a quarter horse and thoroughbred racing farm. I was the horse lady. So my father was a chemical engineer. And one of the toughest men I ever met is a cowboy. Played both sides. You know, he's a tough guy, smart. Those are tough to grow with. Military man, loved him to death. My mother was a hippie. You know, she's an angel straight to heaven. She lives. I built her a log cabin right next door to me, so I will keep an eye on her. You know, they say the straight gate to heaven is make sure your mama, when she shows up, she checks in for you. So, yeah, I'll make sure I do that. But yeah, you put a hippie and an outlaw together, this is what you're going to get. And I'm a twin too, so it's made for an interesting upbringing. And then shortly after, like third or fourth grade, we moved back down here. And I grew up in Willis, Bearcat. There's another Bearcat, probably a bunch of Bearcats in here. And then joined the military right after that.
So was there anyone who influenced you as a kid?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Out here in Texas, we don't really talk as men, we don't say that openly, like that dude right there. It's because it's just out it's a Texas thing, or I'm learning a lot now that I'm older and I have kids and I have to explain stuff. A lot of that gets out of the way. But I've always called them pillars in my life. My father was the first one, obviously God, and as you go through life, it's kind of funny because they'll just show up. You can't get rid of them. I've had people ask me, I'm like, why do you hang out with that guy? Why? I was like, I don't know. God stuck me with him, and I had to endure it, all right? Because for whatever reason, he was going to teach me something. Everybody in your life I was taught was a stone. You're a blade. And as you go through life, you're going to get sharpened. It's the mill, right? And they change out the people. When they change those stones out, they're going to sharpen you, they're going to dull you out, they're going to polish you. You're looking around somewhere and things are starting to drag down, check the people. You just not get, your sharpness is wearing down. It doesn't take that much to get it back. Right? Situations don't dictate that. Because you can be in the most terrible or hard situation you've ever been in. If you got your buddies in there with you, it ain't a thing. It's not even work. It's usually when you're alone. And those are tests in themselves. So as I was growing up, those men would step in and teach me. And I was never the strongest, the fastest. My brother and I are identical twins. And we came into this world a little early, 2 months. My own mom couldn't hold us back. My brother's the oldest, like I said, 7 minutes. He's the alpha of the two of us. He drives everywhere we go. Opens his presents before I do. He can talk down to me. He's running for Congress right now. He's got that Ivy League education. He's I don't want to call him sophisticated because he's probably whipped my butt, but it's just, he's like Captain America. He was my hero. Our motto is from the womb to the tomb. We came into this world together. We're going to leave it together. And from 0 to 40 in our lives, there's no wife, no kids. We had a lot of fun chasing y'all, settling down with one in the cards, and plus, the first 40 years of your life are in darkness, trying to figure out the man that you're not. And in my family, it's customary for all the men to serve in the military and the women. And not mandatory, just customary. If you walk into my house, there's just the flags on the wall and stuff like that. It's not pushed on any of them. It's just if it comes up, like if you've turned into that, then we'll guide you. And we'll train you to be ready. Because it's just like, children are like trees. All the branches, they grow in different directions. You never know what you're going to get. And as I was growing up, one of the boys got all his name was Billy Shelton. He's a Vietnam veteran. And he'd been trained, I would run into him at the school. He's in the gym training football players. Football's a big thing around here. Our state, incredible out here, by the way. Good job, y'all. He would train, and there were the football players, and there were guys who wanted to go into the military. When I was young, that wasn't the plan at all. My brother had come up with that. So we asked him to train us. I forget this. I was a little bitty. So when I was born, I was around 4 pounds, 3 ounces, and my brother was 3 pounds, 8 ounces. We didn't grow like everybody else. I mean, when I graduated high school, I was around 5'6", 154 pounds. All right, this is all government work up here. My brother and I our eyes were going in different directions. He had one of mine, I had one of his. Right? We were always looking at each other. And then the good Lord dosed us up with the ugly armor at birth. Right? I had to be thrown down a mountain to get this perfection. So it was, it's tough, kind of growing up. I still have the same friends I've had since we were in grade school. We're still together. And then people ask me, like, why do you hang out with that guy? Like, man, I've been through him my whole life. I was like, he has a strength that I have as a weakness. And when we're together, I don't feel it. I know he looks different than me, talks different than me, probably won't run around with him, but he has a strength that I don't possess. And when he's next to me, or they're next to me, it's nothing. It's free flowing. And that's another special thing about growing up here in Texas. We do that without even trying. It's just our happy kind of go-lucky mentality until you upset us. So I remember the first time, I walked in the gym, he started screaming at me. I literally called me dime time, because I could only put 10 pounds on the bar, that's all I could lift. And then we would work out for the entire time, but I couldn't finish the workout, so he would just throw me out, and he'd make me leave me there. I would always have to wait for everybody. But I just kept showing back up. And eventually I would get strong, I got stronger. Like at the end of the workout, we were supposed to finish up with 10 push-ups. I couldn't do one of them for months. He would hold my back of my pants, cussing me, and then throw me on the ground. He's like, I hope you die. That's what he told me a couple times. I thought you were supposed to be motivating me, right? But I just kept showing back up because my friends, they were getting stronger, and I understood that. You see, as you grow up, you hear this word mind, body, and spirit a lot. Mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and spirit. Well, some of us, when we come into this world, we're body people. The Bible is designed to train our body first. You guys say, like, hey, what gym do you go to? Pick one out because it does something certain to you. What's your martial arts? Why that? Well, the tradition. It does this for me. Some people are mind people. What school you go to? Why'd you go there? What's the teacher there? They don't even go into the gym or anything. It's just constant here, right? But each one does train another part of it. But each one is designed specifically to train a part of it. Like, hey, what's your mind part, your spiritual part? What church you go to? Why do you go to that? What does that do for you? And then each one of the people that came in my life were designed to teach me one of those aspects. And I would be in the body part, getting my butt kicked and hardening this thing up. My spirit would be out to lunch because it didn't want to feel that pain. You know, your body's specifically designed when you get in trouble to run, get out of there, and your mind is thinking something different. That ever happened to you? Like, I swear I was thinking this, man, but the next thing I know, I was going that way. That's because they're separate. You got to train them to work together. You come into this world, I don't care how old you are now, every situation you get into, if you've never been in before, you'll react like a child. That's kind of why in the uniform department, we put each other in a bad situation just to see how you'll react. Everybody was like, man, you got the most ferocious war face I've ever seen. I was like, that's actually my fear face when I'm scared. But I've had to do it so many times, it's turned into something else. As you go through life, it's designed that way to teach you a part of yourself. And you'll notice that as you get older, there's some things you couldn't do as a kid, you tried. You couldn't try it. I mean, you couldn't get it done. And now it comes so natural to you that you're like, I don't know why. I was like, because the first part had to be done. He's trying to put the cart before a horse, or it's something. Each one of you are as unique as your fingerprint. Nobody's the same color, nobody's the same height, nothing. And life is specifically designed for you, training. And everybody who comes in there, I know the messengers are always wrapped in different men. The ones always tore me up. I know whether they're scary looking, and some of them weren't scary looking. But once I got past what they look like, and I was like, oh, what they're teaching me, then it becomes, that's the love pattern. You can't make somebody love you right off the bat. Don't work like that. We don't work like that. So you got to earn that.